Hi. Okay, this is a general intro that I'm going to add to every one of the 12 readings I'm about to do for each sign individually, but I've got the cards organized right now. I'm going to do house readings. I'm going to go for each sign. I'm going to check each of your 12 houses, what your energy is in them, and that's my idea of the most accurate sort of diagnosis I can come up with. You know, it would be my version of, you know, it's similar to the, well, it's not similar to a Celtic cross or something, but in terms of not just my free flow normal readings. So what I wanted to show in introduction was how I'm going to use the cards to classify a bit. I'm going to identify, I'll put, one card will be up here, so whatever your sign you are that you're going to be identifying with in the reading, it'll be up here. For me, this is Aries energy, Leo energy, and Sagittarius energy, but by houses, by first, fifth, and ninth houses, right? That's what how I'm classifying the energy. So you might very well be King and Queen energy and watching for Aries, right? So what I'll do is I'll have the Page of Wands up, identifying it as Aries, but the other cards will go back in the deck. So if you are coming out in Knight or Queen or King energy and it needs to come out in the reading, then it will, okay? And we'll correctly identify. So similar, Taurus, because we all know, I keep going on about this, I reclassified Earth and Air to match the houses, but also there are more reasons to reclassify them in their cardinal, mutable, and fixed energies than just the cardinal points that Ptolemy gave them. So I'll make a video arguing that out. I explain it most videos, but Taurus at Page, cardinal energy, Virgo, Knight, and then the entrepreneur, because of the career house, the 10th house is career house, so King and Queen energy for Capricorn, okay? But again, same old. If you're watching for that sign and you're in other, you know, you're in a particular energy, then it'll come through in the deck, because I'll just put the one card up as a signifier and the others will be back mixed in with the deck. So Gemini, and otherwise, so remember Earth and Air I've reclassified. Gemini, Libra as the Knight, and Aquarius as Queen and King because of 11th house, 3rd house, 7th house, and 11th house, okay? And Cups, Cancer, 4th house, Scorpio, 8th house, and 12th house with Pisces. And I would make note that with Pisces, because the 12th house is all houses, and Pisces can take on the qualities, the attributes of any sign, because they've been through all of them. So this Queen and this King wear all the crowns. Even more so than how we classify with the Emperor, right? Or even the Empress. These two, because they're all signs and all houses, they wear all 8 crowns. So that's how I classify those. They'll be representing your sign. For the houses, I know that this is typically in tarot, this is an Aquarius card, but I like it to be, I'm going to use it, it can be identified with Aries in first house, yes. And so I believe in astrology it's used as a first house card, is how I first learned it. So I'm going to use it for first house. I'm going to use the Hierophant. I often, in my astrology work, I'll use him as Chiron, as a planet placement, but I'd rather use him in this. I won't worry about a Chiron card. I'm going to use him as the 2nd house. Lovers for 3rd house. Chariot, because it gets confusing between the, I use the High Priestess card, which is normally a 4th house card. I use her as a Lilith placement, which may or may not come out in the reading, but I'll know if it is. And Lilith, as a lunar experience placement, can be magnetisms and polarities. So they'll give me definite messages if I need. So I'm using the Chariot because that is a 4th house card. It's a Cancer card, so it might as well be used. I'm using the Strength card for 5th house, yes. Of course, Hermit for 6th house, Justice for 7th house, Death for 8th house, Temperance, of course, for 9th house. And I get torn with this because I know it's Capricorn, but it's I could use the World card, but I use the World card for Saturn as a planet placement. So I'm going to use Capricorn's card, the Devil, for 10th house, Aquarius and the Star. And I do equate the Tower more with 11th house with Uranus than with Mars and Pluto in Scorpius. It's a split camp. If you go researching online, it's as far as I know, it's a 50-50 split. But I've done my research, and I've got my articles that I refer to that identify the issues that the Tower brings more with Uranus issues. So I'm going to use the Star, obviously, for Aquarius. And then in astrology, the moon is Cancerian, but in tarot, it is Pisces. So, and I need it because Hangman has the Neptune meaning. So these will be, I will use these. They won't be in the deck. They're going to be signifying the houses. So they're going to stay out of it. So what we do in place of them, and they'll be up here. I'll just have one card up at the top, and that'll show which house we're working on. And then for the planets, right? So these will be put back in the deck so that if there's a house that's affecting your house that we're reading about, or there's a planet affecting that, right? Then we have them mirrored, right, by their rulers here. So Sun and Leo, the 5th house. Mercury, so the Magician is Mercury in 3rd house. Of course, Venus, 2 houses. We've got 7th house and 2nd house there. So, and we're going to use High Priestess as Lilith. So any lunar house she might represent, right? But let's say she typically represents the moon, so that would be Cancerian. But Mars, right? Emperor. Jupiter, the wheel. Saturn, the world. So for me, Uranus, the Tower, Hanged Man, Neptune, and Judgment, Pluto. Okay, so those will be put back in the deck. And now let's get to your individual readings, and I hope that makes sense. That's what I do when I'm using the cards in chart work. And now, I'll break for a moment, and I'll be right back. Hey Virgo, all right, let's get into this. Here you are. I have you as the Knight of Pentacles. Others would put Taurus as the Knight of Pentacles, but for me, you are the fixed Earth, and you are 5, 6, 7 of Pentacles and the Knight. And that is all credit to you, Virgo. So let's I need to shuffle these. They're a little too organized from my astrology workbook video. Your 1st house. Now, in astrology, the Fool is used as the 1st house card. I realize in tarot it's considered an Aquarius card with Uranus energy, that non-conformist energy, that going out into the world energy. But in astrological terms, using it as basically Aries, Mars, 1st house energy. The house of self. This would be your rising house, Virgo. So depending on, now this is where it would really pay off to get your sidereal chart done. Sidereal. With the sidereal placements, because that will more accurately, more closely match where everything actually is now. The tropical is out of date by a couple of thousand years. And so that would change potentially it would change your rising sign. And it would definitely change if you go with, I use 2 kinds of house systems. I use whole house, and I use Ibn Ezra Regiomontanus. I use them together because I like compound information about myself. In terms of what I announced to use, I started off with the Fagan Bradley after research, but at this point I'm using the Larry Eli, and I know I'll have to sort of come up with an uneven Ianamsa because of course the constellations are not all 30 degrees. So everybody's going to be wrong at some point. But Larry Eli matches where the sun hits Aries. So I set my latest chart to that. In tropical, I'd be Sagittarius rising. In sidereal, I'm a Scorpio rising. And that is absolutely the truth. I am a Scorpio rising. So, in order to have a strong sense of your first house, it would be good to have accurate information about it. I still combine tropical with sidereal. So, you know, you could be very well, if you're used to thinking you're born in Virgo season, or you're a Virgo rising, or you're a Virgo moon, right? Check that. Check that with sidereal. And let me see, I keep promising to put the link up to where to go to get that. I will find the link again. The one website that I use to do that. Because it's possible that you had a Leo sun. If you identify as a Virgo sun sign, it's possible the sun was 24 degrees behind in Leo. And so, you know, it adds layers to who you are. And that matters in terms of your trajectory, what journey you are on through your first house, because that's your methods, that's your behaviors, that's your inner personality, your core personality, right? If it turns out your sun, well, anyway, you get what I'm saying, because now we're going to see what's going on in that house. And your first house, like in whole house, obviously it would just be in one sign, but in Regiomontanus, which is based on Ibn Ezra, or if you Placidus, right, it could go through multiple signs. My first house in Regiomontanus, Ibn Ezra, goes through Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. So I kind of have, you know, I see it as I have 3 rising signs. Let's see here. This is going to be, because of how involved it is, I wouldn't say that this is a quick story for necessarily immediate energies. It will affect immediate energies, but we're probably looking at a bit of a 6-month forecast here. Wow. Thank you for that. So when I get it in 45 degrees, I take it as something that's in progress, because it's not straight up, it's not immediate, it's not here and now, it's not stuck sideways. Very interesting. I don't know how often we've seen this in any reading where you have the twos against each other. Now, Minnow Pond earlier today was talking about this being a lot of work involved in a Two of Pentacles. I know it's a cash flow card. For me, it's a Taurus card. It's a second house card. So this could be about an investment, but obviously we're deciding whether or not. Here we have first house energy. We have Aries energy. Aries is the Ace, the 2, the 3, and the 4 of Wands. Somebody has this far to go, and somebody has this far to go. Now this would be desire. We've got fire energy here, and then we have investment energy. We have Pentacles energy here. Going towards the 3 of Wands, of making good on a promise and waiting on it. 3 of Pentacles, working together. Wow. Wow. Okay. Transformation in the Wands department. Holding your own and becoming who you are. Anything else in here? We'll get the story on this as we go. This is the beauty of reading for every house. Leo energy. So expressive leadership energy, creative. Okay, wow. Here we have an, okay. So what is immediate is this opportunity. Again, Taurus energy. What was I saying about, yeah. And it's like he's leaning away from this ace because of this indecision. You're leaning away from an opportunity because of this indecision. And there's possibly well, is it isolation? Well, we got to find out what this defensive, but it's a 7, so it's transformation. It's becoming this person that you need to be. This, let's say your pride's involved, your identity's involved for sure. Okay. Now these are all moving, and that's so interesting that those twos came out together though. Split self. Possibly, or there's somebody else. We'll find out. Okay. Yeah, got that in a way I can remember. So let's go to your second house then. Since we have it so represented in your first house. Smacking. Smacking. Okay. Again, makes, wow. This is no accident, Virgo. Okay. Wow. Capricorn energy, career energy. Like you and your career energy. So, you as the angel investor, you as, I mean, that king is holding that ace, but he's got a bunch of aces. And he's in the same, like, is you're thinking ahead of your, not exactly the same angle. Again though, Aries energy. Now, is there another? Is it because we have 11-11, just like we had those twos, like we had 11-11. We could easily look at this as 11-11, right? 2-2. 2-2. Okay, now this is not exactly as progressed as self. But that is in your first house. It's stability, and it is working its way toward, and we flip right in the deck. Something isn't working. Definite reversal. Definite reversal. Leading back to that 2 of Pentacles. Wow. But that Taurus energy. So we have Taurus energy in second house energy in the second house. Somebody's ahead and somebody's behind. Which is what we're getting now. Which one's clangy? There, okay. Well, let's put this one sideways. 3 cards is a lot for one house. We'll get the answers as we go. Third house. And just, you know, we've got Mars ruling the first house. We have Venus ruling the second house. So there's definitely, there could be the fact that Venus and Mars just hit Leo. And there definitely could be then, you know, the two aspects of love, the hot and the cool, you know, like we do have both Mars and Venus showing up in the cards as wands and pentacles. Okay, so we're just going to carry right on with this progressive energy. So we've got fourth house instability in third house. So a loss in the community, instability in your social standing, instability in social circle, because this is, the third house is the house of community. Okay, camera cut out. So this for me is the ethics card as well, based on the whole, you know, knowing the truth behind Adam and Eve's story, the African prophetesses. I will shorten my little speech to that much. Also Great Mother, Ashra or Ashira, and whatever her true roots are. But so knowledge, it's the house of knowledge, ruled by Mercury. Communication. And of course, the choices card. But yeah, let's see here. It's the first time we've had a Cups card. So we've got emotional, spiritual, psychic energy here. Going back to the Three of Cups. Again, two cards together. Look at that. I know I corrected it a little bit, but... Okay, we have Gemini energy here for me because I make Gemini cardinal. And we have Mercury in his own house. Mercury the Magician. Now what's really interesting, 2 4s reversed to 3 3. 2 sets of instability, 2 cards of instability. The 3 of Swords, so there's heartache, there's doing the right thing. 3 of Cups, there could possibly be a third party. But again, at least instability. But what is the instability? Because the Magician, the Mercury, your magical self is nearly complete here. Following that King of Pentacles, right, in the same position. And the 2 of Pentacles, because the Ace of Pentacles is here, that opportunity. We do not want to overlook that opportunity. Because that's the fresh start, especially since you're, as the Knight, you're carrying that Ace, right? And so that would be a fresh start for you, in yourself. And that transformation. Yeah, you've got, yeah, you have that Ace right in your first house. So that's a fresh start for you. Or the beginning of you. The beginning of you. Magician in his own home. Right? And this is the young version of you. Because you as the Hermit, you are the wise, you are the mystic magician, yes? But 2 4s, 4 4 down to 3 3, those are master numbers. The fact that it's all coming out. So, but what is it with, yeah, 11 11, so another master number. These are Mercury cycles. Okay, so what can the 4th house tell us then about those 4 cups? Again, 4th house of roots, and here we have the balance, the yin and the yang balance, and you definitely want your 4th house to be stable and steady and balanced, and this is where you make sure your wavelength is strong enough for against everybody else's wavelength. But we do have Gemini energy reversed here. With that 3 of Pentacles reversed. Now, Page of Swords, for me, he's the smartest guy, smartest person in the deck. He's got the flexibility that the kings and queens don't have. He has that little bit of free will, right, that nobody else has, except the other pages. But he knows what to do. He's smarter than the other pages. This guy loves to be underestimated. She loves to be underestimated. They love to be underestimated. They pick their moments. Now this person is clearly underestimating themselves, or there's something that they don't know. This person, this page is extremely guided. Extremely guided. So there's something about guidance here. Again, with that four of cups, right? So there's double second guessing. So if we go back to those twos in the first house, they're resulting in this magician. He belongs to the magician. It's Gemini energy for me. Others would put it as Libra energy, but for me it's Gemini. Okay, so we're just everything. Okay, this is a master Houdini card for me, and I would put it as Aquarius. Others would put it as Gemini, but for me this is 11th house energy, which would have everything to do with those 11th house is what you do with what you know. So it is complementary to third house. Third house is what you know, 11th house what you do with what you know. And so whatever problems we have in third house are going to, of course, affect 11th house. So this is, now I say this is the Houdini card because I don't see this the way that we want to see it traditionally. These could be easily other swords that were put around this person. And she is going to prove, for me, 8s are proving yourself to yourself. She's going to pull off this magic stunt of suddenly getting herself out of this when it seems like she's, you know, that's my take on it. And then proving herself to everyone else in the 9 of Swords. But this is definitely mastermind thinking. And the cat is affirming that for me. So what's interesting is because she's in progress, this underestimating yourself or something you don't know. No, you know. You know. You're just underestimating yourself. There could be fear. And the question is, because you're achieving this mastery, you know, you're going to experience that much more power, which, you know, if we're used to being guided, hermit that you are, used to being guided and deferring to guidance. We have a paragraph coming out here. See? Yeah, okay, we'll take the paragraph. It's a very clear paragraph. Libra cards here. Look at all the swords though. Okay, and here we have the Taurus energy, the second house energy repeated, the guardedness repeating with that 2 of Pentacles and that Ace of Pentacles. See, mastermind thinking, absolutely. 7, the transformation going back to the 6, wanting that safe passage. This is safe passage. This is a gift of knowledge. For me, this would be Knight of Swords energy. This is Page of Pentacles energy for me. Justice. So we have a justice situation here. Look at that. 8, 7, 6. Okay, so just lots of isolation. There is a lot of isolation in this house. Look at all of this isolation. I don't believe in being tested. I mean, I believe it exists, but I don't. My God doesn't do it. My God helps. My God's the homeschooler, right? So any system that professes to be testing you, we're up against it enough as it is. We don't need anybody testing us. We just need to know what to do, and then when it's our time to shine, then it can be, we know it. We just don't know necessarily. It hits us before we know that it's coming. Okay? It's usually the case. And then they help us know that it's here. But I do not say that you are being tested. I say that you are actually experiencing the power, and it's a matter of recognizing it, because that ace is here. That ace is here. Your guides are not abandoning you. You're just that strong now. So let's go into your 5th house. Let's go into your ego. Let's go into your pride. Let's go into your leadership skills. Let's go into your collaborative creativity, your expression. We do have lunar managing solar energy here. We have the strength of infinity. Again, we're in progress. So, wow. Okay. Yep. Here we have Cancer's energy right here. The Page of Cups. In just about done. Okay. So that initial work. Now it's page energy, it's not knight energy, it's not, which would be Scorpio, and it's not king queen energy, which I would put as 12th house, right? Pisces. But we're talking that stability, we're talking that belief, that faith, that the full cup. But we're not necessarily full strength, and this would speak to the wands issue. We're not necessarily king, queens, wands energy, right? Like, interesting. Squared with 10 of Pentacles. And 10 of Pentacles has a little ways to go, in contrast with that King of Pentacles. But here is where your 10 Pentacles are. They're in your 5th house. Now, if we want to take that as this is where you should be focusing to get your 10 Pentacles. Well, I hope the camera caught that flying out. This is the affirmation for me, because 10 of Cups is the North Node card, okay? So no matter where North Node is in your chart, Virgo, and actually for me, North Node is in my Virgo. But this is where it's confirming for me when I'm saying whether you should focus on this house for your career stability. It is saying yes. Right now. So even if your North Node places somewhere else in your chart, right now, we make this time sensitive, yeah? Right now it is in, the focus needs to be here in your 5th house. And what's so interesting is that is even squaring off with your cups. So this person who's guided is needing to turn the corner, right? You can't stay a page. You don't want to stay a Page of Cups. You want to progress to the Knight of Cups, right? So if we're talking about that transformation, especially since we have Cups energy and Pentacles energy in a Wands house, yes? So interesting. But yeah, squares, when things square off, they create sparks, from what I've, from what I accept as from Jyotish Vedic teachings that I've found about squares. Not to see them as negatives, but to see them as positives, because they give you that clash that gets you into motion, which is interesting to have a clash between Cups and Cups. But in terms of, for me, this is like full psychic communion with guides, in addition to being, full happiness and the home. Like, we have everything about your home, Everything about your happiness, your home, your stability, everything about this world is connected to the spirit world, which of course it is, but in your 5th house. Again, so that just completely, since I'm slow-witted, no, I'm just taking my time. Here's your Leo energy, right in your 1st house. Because, and I'm leaving that ace back there by accident, right? Again, we go to that ace. Absolutely. So that transformation, though, because that's a 7. That's the 7 of Leo. That's the 7 of the 5th house, which is the transformation of self. Okay. So, let's get to your own house. Let's see where we're at. So this would be, of course, you're probably overly familiar with it, but routines, health, problem solving. For me, the free will and soul contract card shows up in here. I think of it as very much a Pisces situation, but the card itself, the 6 of Pentacles for me, which I put the 5, 6, and 7 in your house, has been taught to me by my guides as a free will and soul contract card. And figuring out more or less what the situations are, situation by situation. Necessary change from institutions and taking stock of where you've been, what you have. Yes, but systems. Ooh, did you see that flip right around? I don't know if you did, but it flipped right around on my wrist. And here we have Scorpio energy. Here we have that Knight of Cups. So if we're going from Page of Cups squaring off with North Node and 10 of Pentacles, right? And I was saying the Page of Cups needs, you want to gain King and Queen Cups energy, right? And Virgo, you are directly across from Pisces, of course, on the chart. So if we progress to this Scorpio energy, this Knight energy, transformative energy, here he is upside down. Now, is it because of love, sex? Is it because of wands not working? Yes. Wow. I shouldn't laugh. Okay. More Scorpio energy, the necessary change, the melancholia, the grief, the loss. Yes. The isolation, because there's so much isolation going on, right? If we go back to your 4th house with all those swords, yes? So tremendous isolation. Definitely affecting your wand, right? We're going through the transformation in your wands. So here's where your king energy is. Absolutely, totally you yourself. So I want to say, if we take 5th house as ego, healthy ego, right, and working on that and squaring that off and making sure that it's all like, because your happiness and your security and your everything, all your success, however you measure it, however everybody else measures it, and then your partnerships and your family and all of that, they're all tied up in your 5th. This is in, see, and again, 2 together. This is in the upright, this is in the reverse. So this is almost done. This melancholia is almost. Well, no, it's not almost done. If we want it done, we want it. Well, you know what though? No, if it goes this way and we can progress to the 6. If we go this way, it's hard to say whether we're closer to the 4 or the 6. So I'll let you, we have that 4 of Cups. Not sure. I guess it's looking like it's got a ways to go because we do have the Knight of Cups totally in reverse. Anything else? Flipping right over. Okay, so there's the Queen of Swords. We have King of Swords. These guys are facing off. Now, this would be more 11th house energy for me. But I feel like we have like two energies definitely squaring off, not squaring off, facing off with each other here. If we have the counterpart of King of Swords back in 4th house, right? And we have that instability either in the community or in the home. But if we do this Knight of Cups against this Queen of Swords reversed, that's potentially, no, I feel like this is you, because I feel like this Knight, well, this Knight is this person. This is both Scorpio energy. Okay. So let's remember that those are in progress. He's in reverse. I don't want to just put them in reverse or upright. Okay, Justice, house of long-term partnerships, relationships, everything. Balance again, similar to 4th house. Heaven, the way to heaven. Please. Okay. Well, he's not as reversed. He's not totally reversed the way the Knight of Cups is. Here we have 12th house. The king that wears all the crowns, the queen that wears all the crowns, because 12th house can be all houses and all signs and all crowns. We're going to read for... We're going to check back to that lover's situation in the 3rd house. Yes? Ooh, flipping right over. Here we have you. For me, this is Virgo energy. Now we have that transformation turned around in Pentacles energy. Well, that's further to the 10 of Pentacles. This is all dealing with 5th house. So if we're looking at sense of self, looking at what you have, and the 7 is taking us back to the free will or the soul contract. The question is, do we have free will or a soul contract here? I mean, I'd say basically we're all tied into soul contracts. It's not like we set up this game board for ourselves, this chessboard. Somebody else set it up for us. Okay, well, how? Twos. How many times do we want to understand that this is a twin flame journey? Okay. Now I hesitate, but it seems to be going that way. Soulmate anyway. Something. Because we have a queen that's stuck and a king that's in progress. Now, who is one dependent on the other? But counterparts, we have this. Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay, so now we progress from Virgo energy to Capricorn energy again with the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, leading back to the 7 of Pentacles, which leads back to the 6 of Pentacles. Working, not working, not taking stock, not reflecting. It feels like on just... What was I saying about wavelength? Making sure your wavelength for 4th house. How did I screw up the way that I was? Look at that whole paragraph in 4th house. And yes, this magician that you are, right? So in 4th house, look at right? We're going to remember all of this. Safe passage. And we have 2 Libra cards here.